Hello. Testing the mic. I'm turned around, so a little bit fuzzy, but figured we get started right at 8 my time. Hello, Rebel Star. Let me switch this over, and there we go. All right. Hello. Welcome to another stream. I actually have a cat on my lap right now, but he's trying to get loose. Let me see if I can just show him off real quick. There he is. Oh, hello, boo. Yep. He wanted to give me some cuddles right before stream, so figured I'd let him come up. Yeah, that's Rocket. How are you doing, Rebel Star? And let me tie my hair back real quick. I had it tied, but it untied. Also, I should have, yep, okay, got Twitch on my phone. We are not looking at Mero today on my phone, so it should be okay. I'm doing okay, thank you. Hope you are too. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Finally, like, settling into the groove of the semester. Let me move this mic a little closer for now before we get started. So yeah, I'm settling into the swing of things. It's getting a whole lot busier. I think, as I said on last Thursday, I accepted a position for something I'm really interested in, and so my work week started this week, and so just like 2 hours ago I was sent like 40 research papers that I need to look over and kind of get the swing of how things are gonna go, and so I'm really excited, but it's also like, oh my gosh, it's on top of all my other work. I have a presentation on Thursday that I've been working on kind of past couple days, and so it's just busy life. But anyway, I don't want to rant too much about school, mostly because we've got some surprising, exciting stuff today. As you can see here, we have a box on my booth here. Hello, Curry, how are you? We have a box here on my booth, and that's because I received a package that I completely forgot about that was shipped out a couple weeks ago straight from China, and it is a garage kit, and so I figured I really wanted to dedicate a little bit of the time tonight just to show you guys it and do a live unboxing. I haven't unpacked anything in this kit, so I have no idea if any pieces are broken or what the deal is. Hi Hololai, how are you doing? Hope you are well. But yeah, so I have no idea the condition of it. The last figure I received from this company and the sculptor arrived pretty much perfectly, and so I anticipate the same, but we'll just have to see. I have her covered, but we might as well just get started because I also have a bunch of painting that we want to do tonight. And that's Rocket. He's excited. You can hear him making biscuits. So yeah, dramatic reveal, I guess. This is a figure that I bought from LAP Studio, who kind of is they're like a third party that produces kits for sculptors in China. And so this is the kit. Yang Feng. I'm not sure if that's like the actual like name of the kit or if that's like the sculptor, but I'll link the sculptor and I'll link LAP Studio very shortly for you guys. I'm very excited about this kit. It's from one of my new favorite Chinese sculptors, Shan Yu. Really happy with like the style and everything, and so let me link that real quick before we get started. I had all the links ready, so I can just copy paste them. Oh, Shan Yuya, my bad. There's an A in there. I messed up. Let's see. So this is, hi Cannon, how are you? This is Shan Yuya's Twitter, and so you can see the links, or all the kits that she has sculpted, and one of them that I do have already is the kind of like sad girl with the scissors cutting her hair. I really like her style of sculpting cute girls, and so that's what we're going to be looking at. And here is the link to LAP Studio, but I will warn you right now, it's not safe for work because they do have kits with nudity. Mostly it's like, I guess nudity would be the main concern. They do a lot of like, oh my gosh, Rocket. textures and animals and stuff. And so I'll just put not safe for work and then link it. But yeah, I double checked and I clicked it, and the very first thing is like a girl in a cat outfit in a very provocative pose. And so look at your own risk. But basically what LEP Studio does is they're like a workshop that produces sculpts of the kits of artists in China and then distributes them to Japan and US and wherever. And so you can go on their Facebook page and just like contact them and message them. And you can order directly through them, and they'll send you invoices and stuff. And so this is my second time ordering from LEP Studio, and this experience was much better and much faster than my previous one, which was kind of like in the middle of COVID, and so things are getting a little better now, I think. But yeah, so let's get started with the unboxing. I'll try to like take pieces out as we go and just kind of talk about the condition of the cast and the pieces and how they connect, etc. I don't anticipate this taking too long, but again, everything's like in the packaging, and so we're gonna have to kind of I've got my X-Acto blade here, so we're gonna have to unpack it basically. So the first one here is just this box, or this bag, which looks like it has the like leg pieces into it. I expect she's gonna be pretty big, probably like that big maybe, so we'll see. So yeah, let's just like get going. This is an original kit from China because it is from a Chinese sculptor, so just, you know, FYI, this is legitimate. Chinese models are beautiful. Yeah, they're very beautiful. It's exactly the style I like. So I'm on a very bad track record of starting to order everything that's produced by her. We'll see. You can already see kind of the casting thing here is beautiful. She has a beautiful face. I'm gonna pull out a couple of the pieces. A very highly detailed sculpts with great tabs. You can see the tabs. So here's her chest. Let me get that to focus. So here's her chest, highly detailed lace, beautiful side sculpting, very minor seam lines. Seam line is right here. It kind of fits in just like that, and so there's a little bit of a gap here, I assume for a collar. I'd have to turn over the image. Maybe, I'm not sure. We'll kind of play it by ear. And I'm not going to take out every piece and show you guys, but just kind of the main ones. Just so you can kind of have an unboxing experience as well. There are some tabs on here, and so you can see this is a tab and this is a tab. So you won't be able to fit the pieces into the legs right away because they're only meant to have that one fitting. So we'd have to slice off all of this side chunk in order to get these pieces to fit. But they are highly detailed. You can see the excellent sculpting that went into them. Really, really beautiful. Again, super minor seam lines that I'm seeing here. Yeah, this would be a pretty easy job. Yeah, this is an unboxing now that I think about it. That's kind of funny. Same deal here. There's some tabs kind of, let's see, on her butt area, and then, you know, her thighs though. Look how beautifully sculpted her leg is. She's got these beautiful thighs. You can see the muscle that's kind of going on right here. The knee is beautiful, beautiful sculpted knee. The back as well. It's just, this is top quality sculpting. You don't get that type of sculpt a lot of times with certain kits. They just kind of sculpt the leg and it doesn't have the muscle underneath. And that's really a lot of my kits actually that I buy these days, they have that kind of muscle and physiology to them, and that's why I like them so much. It also makes shading a lot more fun because you have that to go off of. Here's just some, you know, belly. Let's see. There we go. So here's some belly. You can see as I turn it to the light, it has that beautiful sculpting. And so you can really just see it. Her butt has some really nice lace panties. Trying to, it's like really liking my skin texture and not, not the panties. There we go, close enough. Yeah, there we go. So she's got these really nice ones. Let's see, Canon posted, FYI, Whoopie Pie is going to resell the birds on Booth. Yeah, I did see that post. Thankfully, I'm not interested in any of Whoopie's birds now, but that is a good one. Maybe link Whoopie's booth in chat, and so that way if people are interested, they can take a quick look. Here's just another detail. So she's got these really nice sleeves. A part of a reason why I like Sean Yuya's stuff so much is because she sculpts fabric really well, and so like this is phenomenal. The amount of shading you can get inside all of these is just so pretty. And this is a case where like casting really makes a difference here, because this is just cast so well. You know, imagine if it wasn't cast well, you would have to sand out all of the junk in between her, the folds of the dress and stuff, and that's just, no thank you. Alright, so I'm just gonna kind of put some pieces here. Let me leave her head here for something visual. Thank you, Canon, for posting that. We have another box or bag here, 2 bags actually. So, let's see. Just pull some of this stuff out. These are Ziploc, so I assume they're just a couple of pieces. Ooh. Oh boy. Oh man. So I did not expect this kit to have a clear pieces, but it appears that her dress will be completely clear. So let's open it up and see. That's actually a total surprise, and maybe I just missed it when I was looking at the product. Oh yeah. So the dress is entirely clear, and that is an awesome feature. I'm slowly learning to love clear resin now that I prep it and get it ready. And it just looks so beautiful once it's painted. Continue. The base is clear. So this is the base that comes with it. You can see it's just like water droplets of some kind. Yeah, the sculpt is beautiful. I'm trying to find the rest of the outfit so I can like put it up together to show you guys. Okay, here. So here's another part. Really nice clear resin too. And when we say clear resin, like we mean clear. Let's see. Come on, kid. There we go. So yeah, this is absolutely beautifully cast clear resin. No hint of yellow whatsoever in it. It is so pretty. When put next to this stuff, I can't find the top. Maybe it's in another part. I have no idea how this fits together, but it is a gorgeous piece of work. Look at all of the folds on this. And this is about as big as my hand. So it's a pretty big kit, all things considered. Let me put this aside and this aside. Maybe the top is in some other area. Let's move this here, move these. Wow, I really didn't expect that. And let me look at it again just to see. Very little bubbling going on. In fact, the only bubbling that I see is really around the edges. And there is some sanding that needs to happen, but when I rub my hand against it, it's really smooth. And so ideally all you need to do is go through in the polishing and not have to do a total sanding from the ground up. But usually that's what happens with these clear pieces, is you gotta do all the buffing. Alright, so there's a couple of other pieces in here. There's also this, which I don't really know what it is yet, so I'll leave that last. It might be part of the outfit. This is kind of all of the detail pieces, I think. So she's got, let's see, there's a bunch of them. I don't know if I'm going to open these to show you guys, but I can show you through the bag because it's pretty clear. She's got these really nice hands. Let's see. Come on. It wants to focus on clear. There we go. So she's got really nice sculpted hands, some seam line on them, but again, nothing too crazy. More frills This kit was all about frills, which is kind of why I also bought it. And here's some of the hand detail, so. Oh, sorry, ignore this. Rocket scratched me, so can't help it. He was trying to get some, like, towel, and then I wanted the towel and he scratched me. But it wasn't out of, like, meanness. He just gets possessive about towels. Here's a couple more just pieces of the kit, some ribbons. These look like flower petals, and I assume these are probably meant to go on the base as well as in her hair. This kit also has 3 flowers that go in her hair, and so really, really beautiful flowers. Like, this is so gorgeous. I wish I could just cast this and like print a million of them, because wow, I love resin, I love flowers, and this is perfect. Like, that's the dream. Okay, one other bit was in here, and I assume this is the hair, so let me actually open this up. Oh wow. Really, really, really beautiful hair as well. Let's see. Trying to get this to focus. It likes to clear. Maybe I'll just bring it back. So yeah, really beautiful hair. The individual hair strands are just so crazy. She does have a braid in her hair, and so it's very nicely protected, so it doesn't break during transit. Fingers crossed, but it feels okay to me. Yeah, oh wow, look at that. Master level sculpting. Come on, there we go. So every single hair strand is individually cast on this kit. There are a couple of rough spots that I can see here, as well as kind of throughout, but some of it, they're even individual, and so you can like carve into it basically and see how they're kind of, the tendrils are kind of coming out there. Sean Yuya is really quickly becoming one of my favorite sculptors, and so it's for stuff like that, just attention to detail. You can see the head more or less fits in like this, and so there's a couple of tabs and stuff that we gotta chop off, but really pretty. Let me put that over here, and let's open this one, and then we only have one more thing to open, which is that kind of like gotcha pod. Let's see, this might be more hair, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, it's her front hair piece, so you gotta really make sure nothing breaks for this, which we are in good shape. Oh my gosh, beautiful. Let's see, just so beautiful. Look at those hair strands, you guys. Really, really in love. Oh man, they're very delicate, so you gotta be careful, but they will fit kind of in the front of her hair like that. Love how she sculpts lips. She's got these kind of like pouty girl faces, and that's part of why I like it as well. Really, like, this sculptor hits all the moe points for me, which is why I keep buying them. So pretty. Yeah, she's just really gorgeous. I have no idea what color scheme I would even paint her in. These are ones that I'm just kind of, I get them because I know they might be hard to get a hold of later, especially considering they come from China. And I really haven't ordered that many garage kits direct from China. So I'm just getting what I can while I can. Okay. Alright, the last thing is this kind of, whoops, there we go. As I drop it. I'm not sure what this is, but I didn't see any pieces of, I don't know. Now that I think about it, I saw pretty much everything. I'm not sure what this is. Oh my god. Okay. So, look at that. It's like the flower branches that go, I don't even know where. I'd have to pull it up. Maybe on the bottom of the base. But I can see why these were packed so tightly because that's just crazy. Yeah, these look, actually, now I think about it, was this 3D printed? It kind of looks like it. Because it's, yeah, it looks 3D printed. And this is such a high, yeah, I can see it. So it's a really, really high count, I guess. I'm not sure the correct phrasing for that. I could barely see the lines that were like used to print this. And that's pretty incredible. I'm just kind of looking at it and marveling at it. Yeah, this looks, yeah, it's definitely 4K for sure, because I have a 4K printer, or at least my husband does. But these lines are even finer than what we can get on that. But I think 6K printers were pretty new, so I don't know if they had the tech for that yet. But yeah, just wow. Take a look at that. Really cool. Yeah, I didn't expect that either. This kit was kind of full of surprises, honestly. I didn't expect the clear pieces, especially because like we had just, you know, looked at the sleeves and stuff, and those weren't 3D, or they weren't clear at all. And then on top of that, the 3D printed stuff too. Wow, this is awesome. So that is the kit that I bought. I'm gonna slowly work my way and put everything away, and then we're gonna kind of transition into what we're supposed to be doing tonight, which is painting Mero-chan. But hopefully that was, you know, a little bit fun and different for you guys. Definitely, like, always enjoyable whenever I get a new kit. Hey Black Fox, how are you doing? Oh yeah, look, there's like a warning that it's been 3D printed. I'll throw that away, we need that. But yeah, so I thought that was really fun. Always happy to show off and support sculptors, especially that I really like. And so if you're interested in Sean Yuya's work, I highly recommend going through LEP Studio, or I think if you're familiar with buying through Chinese sites, you can buy directly. But for the most part, it's easier for me to deal with a proxy for them. And so you don't have to pay any extra fees or anything. LEP does all of the work, and they pay for everything. You pay for the shipping and stuff. So really it's just a great situation for everyone involved. Hopefully all of this money is going to Sean Yuya. That's my hope. But yeah, I'm trying to transition out into buying some other unique stuff lately, and so this definitely fits the bill for that. Okay, gotta be careful here because I don't want to lose anything and I don't want to break anything. Some of these pieces are really delicate. Let's see, do LEP only deal through Facebook? No, LEP deals through kind of a few sources. I found the best response for them, for me, is through Facebook, but they also have an Instagram, and they also have a booth, so like pics of booth. Although I don't really recommend buying through Booth, because then you're kind of you're dealing with two proxies. You're dealing with LEP, who's in China, Booth, who's in Japan, and then it goes to you wherever you are. And so it's easier out to cut the second middleman, which is Booth, and just deal with LEP directly. They ship worldwide as far as I know, so it's worth it. Yeah, no worries. They post pretty regularly, and they post quite a variety of things as well. So it's not just cute stuff like Sean Yuya. Like I said, there's a lot of variety. They sell like monster kind of models. They sell a lot of realistic kits that are pretty popular. They sell mythological, so kits based on Chinese mythology. Those are pretty huge. Really, really recommend checking them out, if only just to like marvel at the talent of some of these sculptors that we usually don't get to see, because a lot of the emphasis on garage kits is Japanese modelers, and so this is a really unique endeavor that's kind of popped up in the past recent while, and now that we're able to buy directly from them, you know, it's pretty awesome. Let's see. Try to track her down, cool. Although you're trying to be good and paint stuff rather than buy more. Yeah, that's a big mood. Technically this kit for me is like a leftover. I pre-ordered her a long time ago, and she was supposed to come out back in December, but because the workshop was delayed, you know, there's still delays everywhere. She was kind of put off until this month, and so that's good. I don't mind waiting. You know, we all got big backlogs. Hey Meds, how are you doing? Hey Monkey. Yeah, you guys just missed a surprise unboxing. There was a figure that I purchased or pre-ordered a while back that finally arrived from China, and so we were just kind of looking at all the pieces and marveling at how beautiful she is. She is definitely bigger than what we're dealing with, but that's the fun of it too, is buying a variety of sizes. Let me show her face one last time if you guys didn't catch it. This is a kit sculpted by the artist Shan Yuya, and she is a Chinese sculptor, and you can buy this kit through the, I guess, Service LEP Studio. They're basically a resin studio that casts out these figures from Chinese sculptors in China and then sells them worldwide. And so highly recommend going through them for some, if there's something that you're interested in. This is my second time ordering, and it was another great experience. So that's my plug for LEP. I'm not sponsored by LEP at all. I wish I was, because getting free resin like this would be the ultimate dream, but that's not the case, so I'm just like the rest of you. Alright, I just really want to be careful for these last two pieces for hair, which I'll probably go wrap up on my own later, just because I don't want to deal with any breakages or anything. Yeah, she's a little bit pricey, I think, but comparatively to a lot of kits that I've bought, not so much. I forgot how much I paid for her. I think including shipping, it was like around $200 US, which is honestly not too bad, because you don't have to deal with the proxy or anything like that. And you're just buying directly and supporting the sculptor directly. So I'm kind of happy to do so, especially because I've phased out from buying a lot, and now I only buy things that I really, really want. It takes a lot for me to buy something these days, and Shan Yuya's kits qualify for that. So we're just about done packing her up. I'm going to show off her again. So this is what she'll look like fully built. She's got a beautiful face, a now clear dress, as we figured out. And let's put her back. Yep, there we go. So that's the whole box. She is quite big. This is my hand, and so it's about 2 of my hands. Not that that's a sense of scale, but I actually do have a ruler here. So let's see. So yeah, it's an 11-inch box, so she's not a small box. This is like a shoebox size, but well worth it. And let's see, I saw Whoopie Pie make a tweet. They'll have some kits on sale tomorrow. Yeah! Camden actually just posted Whoopie Pie's booth in here about that, and so here's hoping you guys get your birds, and then you can reference my stream and build your own bird. Just kidding. But yeah, they really are worth it, Whoopie Pie's birds. They're fun, they're dynamic, they're a lot of pieces, so they're good complexity, but they're also, I don't know, good for beginners and veterans alike. Alright, so let's move on to the real task for today, which is actually doing some painting. Let me make sure my stream is focused. I need to change my setting a little bit, so give me 1 sec. There we go. That should focus in on this range, so I'm going to try to stay here. And so I wanted to make sure this area was clear while we were unboxing, so I didn't paint out or pour out anything. So I'm going to get some lacquer ready. Tonight, as promised, we are going to start painting Mero-chan. Let me get this thinner ready, and I'm going to have to open my window and the whole shebang. We're going to do it all. Got my beautiful mask here. And so the plan tonight is to begin her outfit. So we're going to paint the beiges of her outfit. I have pieces like this lined up, so we're going to paint like
you can see in the photo there, we're gonna paint the front and back of her little front apron dress. And then the sides here, we're gonna paint all those that color. We're also aiming to paint her hair. I like to get her hair done if possible tonight. And then I don't think, given that we had this unboxing, we'll get to skin. I also kind of wanted to paint skin, but I don't know if we'll be able to get to that. So we'll see kind of where we end up. We may have to just extend things into Thursday. No matter what, we're going to be painting for the rest of these streams because that's all that's left. So yeah, basically that's the plan for tonight. I see a comment from Black Fox. I have to start getting ready for work. Have a good one. Thank you for dropping in, if only for a moment. And yeah, check me out on the VOD later. I will definitely have it. Alright, so things that I did do kind of prior to streaming, I made a bunch of the mixtures as promised. The ones we'll be working with, I think I showed off before. Let me just get them ready because I have a couple of them. Mero's orange. I figured out the orange. So we have these two vials here. This is her hair base and her hair shading. These have been pre-mixed and they're ready to go. And let me grab some spoon. This is the color that it should be. This mixture is made exactly with these. So there will be no variation in the color. These should come out like pretty similar to what's in these vials and what will be going on with the hair. And so I typically make spoons when, you know, we were messing around like the past two streams, and then I do kind of a final spoon once I've mixed the colors, and that way we know for sure what it's gonna be. So that will be her hair color. And then unfortunately I completely forgot to make the like base beigey color, and so we're gonna do that really quick. I have a vial right here, and so we're gonna mix just what we need. I'm gonna probably put about half the color in here, spray it on a spoon really quick, and then we can get started on the kit. So just did not have time to do this. I have been very busy. So yeah, I have a sweater on right now. I don't want to get it dirty, and so I'm gonna take that off real quick. And then we'll mix up that beigey color and probably start out with that color and just spray it right on the kit if the spoon looks good. So, all right, I do also have the paint mixture, so we can just use that paint mixture as the recipe. So let's see. I'm gonna move that spoon. This is my leveling thinner, and so I'm gonna use a little bit of that in this mixture as well to make sure everything goes on smooth. So let's get a glove on. This mixture is also really simple, which is why I considered not making a vial, but in the end it's kind of best to double check things. And so it was all white and then just a tiny bit of this Notes Flesh orange. So we'll be using both of these today to make this mixture really quick. All right, so we got these two, and let me turn this just a bit. There we go. Nothing crazy. What I'm gonna do in my mixture is I do, how do I describe this? I'm gonna double my recipe because it's easier to fill up the vial. And I basically do 2 parts of the hardware store lacquer thinner and 1 part of the leveling. I've just found that's what works for me. So you're gonna see me do this kind of fast, but basically I'm just trying to fill up the vial about halfway. I also have my paint recipe here. So let's see, okay. And I'm sorry, I'm left-handed, so some of this is gonna be like kind of blocked while I'm holding the vial. Wow, this is thick. There we go. Okay. Might need to make another order of white soon. Okay. And let's see. I'm gonna set this down real quick. I need to mix this and make sure that it's all blended. Sometimes, especially these fleshy tones, they kind of settle into two parts. So, okay, and my mixture was, let's see, okay, kind of an odd mixture here. I had 2 parts, or 2 drops. Oh, I don't know what that will be, but we'll see. It was a mixture of like the toothpick drops we did on stream and then some regular drops. So part of it is just me mixing all this in here, and then we'll do that test spray and I can adjust it as needed. So usually I do a little bit 2 at a time. So let's do it again. Oops, this broke. Okay, do this again. Probably, yeah. Okay. Just kind of talking to myself. Okay, and do 3 that time. We'll just substitute that instead of doing those toothpick drops. All right, shake it up again. So I kind of agitate it after each time. So you can see it's looking like a nice creamy kind of yellow color. And let's do one more. So 1, 2, whoops, this one broke. Buy some pretty cheap droppers, so they can't really sustain the lacquer that well. Okay, and 1 here. And let's do 2 drops. There we go. All right, so let's test this out real quick. Again, we were going for a really light creamy color. And so we'll just have to see. I might add more white to this. I might cut it a little bit with some clear. We'll just double check. Always, always, always check. It's like the measure twice, cut once thing. Same thing with the spraying. Because even if you spray a darker color on your kit, if you're trying to cover it up with a lighter color, it's never going to be that pure white again. So just got to be kind of careful. All right, so this should be good. Yep, and let's double check. Make sure this is, yep, this is spraying well. Okay. I'm not going to turn my booth on yet because we're just spraying a spoon really quick. But when we were spraying the hair and when we're spraying the pieces, I'm going to be muting myself and I will have this airbrush booth on. So just FYI. Okay, get that. And so let's put some of this into my cup. And we have, thankfully, 2 spoons left. I sanded a couple, so let's turn that on. And spray this spoon. You can also compare it to the other spoon that we sprayed, but already this one looks fine. This color looks good. It should look really similar to our paint mixture because we did all the work already, so we're not reinventing the wheel here. And the shadings for this I will be mixing after we finish spraying the base color, so those will come a little bit later tonight. I don't, well, I sometimes pre-mix the shadings, but for this, since the pieces are so small, it's not really needed. We can just get by with using 1 cup of them. So, all right. So, I know it doesn't look like much, but it's kind of an off yellow ivory color. You can probably tell it a little better here. So if I put these here, maybe. There we go. So yeah, this one's really nice. Yeah, no, what's your question, Canon? Oh yeah, this looks fine. And let me compare this to my other one originally. Let's see, quick question. What does adding clear do to a color? Well, clear doesn't really, like, it has no color. That's the absence of color. And so basically when you add clear to an opaque color, it provides those pigments, or like the, I don't want to say the texture, but it provides the consistency of your paint having more paint, but not having any pigment. Does that make sense? And so what you can do is kind of take some opaque paints, which have a lot of pigment, have a lot of color, and mix them with some clear, and you'll be able to spray thinner layers and more even layers, because you still have that consistency, but you won't have to thin your paint more. Does that make sense? So you still get like the added the spray consistency and the coating that you want, but you don't get as much color at first. You don't get as much like blotches, because sometimes when you're just spraying pure opaques, you can kind of get these like splotty textures that happen with it if you happen to not thin it the right way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it stretches the color out, and so you're able to apply, you know, a little bit smoother gradation, a thinner layer, etc. to it by adding that clear. And I actually do use clear. I add in clear when I'm working with my top coats, and so I have this like vial of top coat here. This is a gloss top coat, and I add a little bit of clear into that top coat to kind of give it that consistency and stretch it out and keep it glossy. And that's just something that I do. I think a lot of other modelers probably do that too, but clear is useful in a lot of ways. And of course you can add clear to clear colors as well. It's not going to change anything in the properties of it. And so hopefully that helps. I didn't really used to do that a lot. I'm doing it a little more now, especially because paints are scarce. And so, you know, you may have to play around with it and see what works for you. I do anticipate also doing that tonight probably with some of the hair, so we'll see how it goes. I can kind of show you what it's like. Okay, with that, let's get started on spraying Mero-chan. I think we're good to go. So, sorry if I have my hand in front of that. Let me move my pieces over real quick because I'm kind of reaching over right now. We will be painting, let's see, her parts of her outfit. I'm moving my clips. So we're gonna go over these two first and spray all of these with the base coat. After that, we are going to go in with the shadings of this kit. Something is weird on here, but I think I can cover it. We'll go into the shadings, so we'll need to mix up the shading color and go over that. And then after that, we'll transition into hair. These pieces, there's a little bit less needed. We'll only really go here because we're going to be masking these later so we can spray the green on top. So, get that. We also have two little bits here. So I'm going to put these on a piece of tape and we'll spray those as well. So, let me open my window. I know there's been a lot of buildup and no painting, so this happens, don't worry. Okay, there we go. Once I put my mask on, you guys really won't hear me either, so I'll just cue that as when we start, basically. So, okay, we got this. We'll shake it up one last time. This has already been used. Okay. Might have to come back to this little jar, but we'll see. Okay, I think we're good. I'm gonna turn on my compressor and turn this on, and I will be muting myself just temporarily, but we'll have plenty of time to chat because we'll be mixing colors, etc. and spraying stuff. So, mask is on. So most of these should be base coated now, except for the underside of these pieces here. Basically, we just gotta wait until those are a little bit drier, and then we'll flip them over and do the same thing. Just kind of removing some stuff. I'm gonna look at the pieces, kind of compare them against my trial spoon, and then make some adjustments if needed. I was thinking I might coat it in white again, but I'm not 100% sure. So we'll just have to see. Let me move these. Only problem that I basically saw happening was because this kit had so many holes and so many issues with it. They are still, some of the holes were kind of showing up through the paint still, and so probably just a problem because it was white primer that we used. So I'll have to take a look at that and see. It's only under like certain light. And an interesting problem with like paint and just kind of painting your kit is certain colors look like pretty extreme, but then when you put them next to like the colors as a whole, it all kind of works out. So if like right now, to me it's like, oh my gosh, this is way too yellow. But then when I put it next to like something that is a lot stronger color, it just looks like cream. So just kind of FYI when you're painting, you know, trust your spoons and trust your judgment, because there's been many times that I've been like, oh my god, I painted this color wrong, but then no, it's just because the lighting was weird, or you know, I just thought something else. I'm gonna spray this really quick without the booth. Basically, I think I missed a spot and I can kind of see some white, so. It's kind of hard when I'm, you know, trying to stream to show you guys, and so I'm trying to get like great angles, or at least acceptable angles to show you, and then you know, I missed that because of that. So let's take a look at each piece, and then we can, if everything looks good, we can start mixing the shaders for that. And also when we're shading, I have to switch my airbrush out, so there will be some minor stuff to do, some minor busy work. I also have these little kind of X-Acto Q-tips, and sometimes when I see a little fuzzy or a hair that snuck its way in there, I can just kind of wipe it off. We are working with lacquer paint, and so this is already dry to the touch. It basically dries in, you know, only a couple minutes, but it's not fully cured yet, and so if you scratch it, it will scratch, but it's definitely okay to touch. These pieces had been sitting on my desk for quite a while, and so they over time accumulated a little bit of dust. That's pretty normal. I completely forgot to like wipe them off prior to starting the spray. If you don't care about dust though, it's not really a big deal. Yeah, there's like one small area here that I can kind of see the drilled hole. I don't know why. I might have to go over this with white again and then see again if that helps. Okay, that one looks okay. Just knocking some fuzzies off. And yeah, this one had just like very one or two fuzzies. Also, what is that? Okay. Oh yeah, I think that will be okay. The only thing is that very slight mark. Sorry, I'm completely blocking the camera. I get into it. Real quick, let me... My issue is if you do one thing to one part of the kit, it's better if you do it to all of it, otherwise the color won't match on certain parts, and so I'm debating going over these with a very light coat of white. I think I will, and then if needed we can go over it just slightly again. We're still kind of doing this for fun, so let's just pull out a cup and put some white in it. Spray it real thin, and then see what happens. And then we'll mix the shader. Oh, and we also need to spray the other side of these. So these I'm not going to worry too much about. So, oh, and we still have some paint in here. All sorts of cleaning going on. Not going to worry too much about fully cleaning this out because we're not transitioning colors yet. We're just roughly working with the same colors. So, all right, I have some white in my cup now. I am not going to mute myself for this either. It should be really quick. So we got the window open. This will lighten up the cream color that we just put on. And it should blend things in a little more. Some fuzzies or something there. You know, at this rate, I'm just going to cover all of it with white. Will really make this a light cream. And thankfully, I was able to mostly blend out that issue I was having before. There's also a fuzzy that found its way on here, so let that sit for just a moment. I think we'll have to mix some more white real quick then. Not really mixing though, just spraying it in a cup. Alright, that, yeah, that's great. I can't see that hair anymore. Do that to the other pieces too. So that's a good way if you have some slight imperfections, you know, make sure that your primer coat is well enough, or you have the capability of covering it up a little more with another layer. Keep in mind also that your airbrush layers are very thin layers, like really when we're thinking about it. So you can go a little bit heavier. You just honestly don't want it to run. If your paint starts running, you've got an issue, and you're putting it on way too thick. Alright, that one. I might just keep it this white, honestly. I'll compare it after, but this will have us a really nice whitish cream that's very easily ready to shade. And we're going to shade this with kind of a lightish brown, so that will still work for this color scheme. Oh, I just ran out. Let me grab a little bit more. Can you guys hear me okay, or is it like eating into my voice? We shall see if anyone responds. Okay, you can hear me? Alright. I think last time there was an issue with the compressor being too loud, and so then it cut my voice out a lot. But that's not happening now, but it's fine. I think I changed that setting maybe, so should be okay. Alright, we're about done anyway. I just needed one more thin layer of that. Let me do this real quick. Get out of here. Two. There we go. Oh yeah, much better. Compressor's loud, yeah. That's unfortunately, if I want to talk and spray, that's what's gotta happen. Otherwise, imagine the booth. Okay. Alright. Apologies for the loud noise and disturbance. Okay, so I think we're good for that. Let me remove some of these fuzzies real quick. They're not really doing anything. Okay, that, and let's pour the white out. Still quieter than trying to watch Netflix. And, I mean, thanks for having me on in the background then. Okay, so let's clean this out. And actually, I'm gonna spray that out. Let's look at the pieces real quick. After that, I'm going to deep clean my airbrush because we're gonna need to transition into my other airbrush, and I want to make sure this one is clean. Just a lot of spraying colors is airbrush maintenance, so. Okay, tilting this now. And, oh yeah, that's much better. So the color that we had just mixed like maybe 20 minutes ago was just a little bit too dark for me. Even though as light as this color is, it was still just a little bit too yellow and dark for me. And so I have top coated this with white. Now we're very much looking, you know, into a very nice ivory color, and it matches well with this. So fingers crossed. Although we still need to do that to this then. So that's the problem when you do everything once, you gotta do it to the other piece, and then I'll just remember to do this later, but we still need to spray the other side of this with that ivory color. So we'll do that first, and then we will clean the airbrush, and then we will switch my airbrush and mix the shading. One by one by one. That's how it's gonna happen. Okay, turn that over. Looks great against the green. Thank you. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Usually what I like to do is I do the hair and the skin first, because those are the two important things, and you really want to make sure those colors harmonize. But we had the stuff on hand, and we're going to do skin in a bit, so might as well just get the base color down and start that going. Okay, so let's spray this really quickly. Barely need any paint for the frills here. These I will coat in white probably after the stream, or if we have time after. Actually, yeah, I think that's fine. It'll have to happen after. So we've got the base color down. Now we are going to clean my airbrush, because we finished spraying a base color. And we are going to transition into using my smaller airbrush, which is a Badger Sotar 2020 that I use to do all of my shading work. And I also use this to shade, but it's easier on the small kits to shade with the Sotar, so let's see. We'll open this up. This is the kind of my standard when I'm cleaning. You want to take out your needle, make sure that you get it through, because it's going to pick up some other random junk. I had sprayed some blues earlier this week. Let's see, what is the needle size on these airbrushes? Good question. For my, whoa, that just went flying, but thankfully it's right here. Just have to find it. There we go. So my Iwata HPC Plus, the one that we're working on right now, I use a 0.3 millimeter needle, and nozzle. Needle and nozzle are pretty much interchangeable. They're the same because you need, you know, the same nozzle size. So that's a 0.3. But my Badger Sotar is a 0.2 millimeter, and because of that, it has a much finer area of spray compared to the 0.3, and you can get in much closer with the fine detail and spray really, really tiny lines if you need to. So yeah, so 0.5, that size airbrush, I do have that as well, so I have a master airbrush in that size, but that I basically use exclusively for spraying primer, coating large areas, spraying metallics or pearl colors, because it is definitely chunky. It sprays a wide area and you just can't get in there with the fine stuff. And so if that's the only size that you have, I think that there's a lot you can do with it, but especially if you're working with these smaller kits, I think that a smaller needle size is recommended. I would, at the very bare minimum, recommend a 0.3 I have used this airbrush, my Iwata HPC Plus, for at least 5 years, and it's an absolute workhorse. It is very much recommended for beginners looking into getting into garage kits. A lot of the Western modelers recommend this one just starting out. It is a little bit pricey. It's definitely over $100, I know for sure. But when you factor that in with like how much I use it per year, and I've had this for so many years, and it's never given me any problems at all. I've honestly never even needed to change the needle, and it's been fine. It's more than worth it. So highly recommend it. Iwata products are always top of the line. I have an Iwata compressor as well, and I just really recommend them. They're great. But yeah, I also have a Badger, and that one, the Sotar, is a little bit more expensive as well, just because it's more of a specialized brush, which we'll transition into now, so I'll talk about it a little bit. So this is the Sotar 2020. You can see it's much smaller, and it's black and a little more aerodynamic. This one has no needle guard, so you can see the point here, compared to like this, which has the needle inside. You can kind of see it. My camera's putzing. So yeah, there's a needle inside of here. Let me take it off. So there's the needle. That's the 0.3, and this is the little protector and sprayer. This one does not have that. And you can buy it, but I didn't get it. So yeah, it's a really sleek one. The cleaning and the setup is a little bit different because this is an American-made product. Iwata is a Japanese brand, and so like there's just different technicalities to it that you have to get used to. This one, the Sotar 2020, if I'm being honest, I don't recommend this for beginners right out of the gate. It's like a black stallion. Like, you gotta know how to ride a horse before you like try this one, because it has a personality and it like knows what it wants to do, and you gotta tame it. And so once you figure that out, like, you're golden. But if you're just going into it, it takes a little bit of adjusting. It definitely took me a couple of tries to get used to this. Definitely a lot of you know, test sprays and lines. You can see all my lines and stuff I spray all the time. I think this one was Iwata though, but whatever. But yeah, I also recommend this one mostly for detail work, especially because I work with a lot of really tiny kits, and so having this has been kind of a game changer, honestly. It's really allowed me to get a lot of shading in a small area, whereas the Iwata, I love it. I was just starting to feel a little limited in what I could do. So that's usually a sign when you need another airbrush. If you're feeling like you're limited, or you're not able to use the skills that you need, then that's like, it's a tool issue. It's not a you issue. Just me ranting. Let's see. I have Iwata Revolution CR, so I'd stick with Iwata brushes. Yeah, Iwata is definitely a solid pick. Honestly, the only reason I bought this because it was on sale, but even then, like, I would still buy it again, I think. Alright, so airbrush setup aside, let me turn this back on and make sure it works first. Okay, this one also has a crazy range of spraying. It can spray like really wide as well as really small, so I gotta be careful when I'm putting paint in it, make sure it's at the right size I want. Size spray, basically. Okay, so we need to mix the shader real quick as well, because I did not do that. This is basically one of the only sets of paint I didn't do that with. So we're gonna just put it all in a cup. I don't need to put it in a vial, because we're really not gonna use, excuse me, too much of this compared to the base. And even then, like, we mixed a lot of base, but we didn't go through a lot. And it's because I always mix more base than I need. Okay, so for this one we needed Mr. Color 318 Radome. We needed some white. We needed some slight mahogany and a clear brown, which I put on my desk. So let me grab that real quick. Yeah, clear brown. Okay, so we're gonna mix this right in the cup. As I know I said that a bunch of times already, but We are. Okay, and we're gonna add the leveling thinner as well for this. We're not gonna use only regular thinner. Okay, that. Whoops. No, roll away. My leveling thinner lid just ran away, but it came back. Okay, so we got that. Let's grab some of these. So, I should probably mix two actually, so let's do that again. 1, 2, 3. So we're just gonna double our recipe, make sure we have enough for now. And I'll probably cut this with some clear later too, so. Okay, so we will need a bunch of white. Okay, and my measuring thingy just broke already. Okay, try again. There we go. Okay, so. Okay, tiny bit more. And the radome. I'm gonna shake this and see. This real quick. Ooh, I am running low on some of these paints now. I've been doing a lot of painting lately, so I'm gonna thin this out just a bit with the leveling thinner. Shouldn't affect it too much. Some of this stuff just kind of sank to the bottom, and over time, if you don't close your jar completely, it starts to kind of lose the thinner it came with, so you gotta re-agitate it. Now there's plenty, so. Okay, do the same thing. 10, roughly. Might test this on a spoon as well, just to double check the mixture's okay. And next is mahogany. This is a pretty, like, darkish brown. And so you don't want to add too much, or that's gonna, you can see it's pretty dark. You don't want to add a lot, otherwise it's gonna dull your kit real quick, the colors in it. Oh my god. Okay, so we'll only add 2 drops of this. Okay, and according to this recipe, I added a little bit of clear brown, I think to bring up the vibrance of this paint again after adding the mahogany. See which toothpicks I have left, but I'm gonna agitate these as well. And same thing here. So we're only adding 2 drops of clear brown. Okay, that should be the right mixture, but we'll see. Oh yeah, so you can see it makes this kind of like darkish, orangish brown. It's somewhat pale. But when we spray it in thin layers, it should go on pretty thin, so. This is a nice cool, well, it's not really cool, but it is a nice kind of light cocoa brown shading for hair that I have as a mixture, and I kind of saved it to use it for this, so. We got that, and so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna thin this a little even more, not too much, but I'm gonna do that technique that I was just talking about earlier with Canon, where I'm gonna add some clear paint into this, and then take some of this paint and put it into here. And that way we'll basically have the same consistency that we normally do with paint, but it will go on thinner. We'll see how that goes. This is I'm still kind of experimenting with this technique, so if it goes wrong, I'll let you guys know. If it works, I'll also let you know. All right, so I don't need a lot. And you can see it looks almost exactly the same. It's just thinned out. So put that here. And I'm going to move this and keep it over here. So that's my original mixture. This is the mixture with clear in it. Looks literally identical, but it should spray on a little thinner because we don't have as much paint in there. It's mostly clear now. Yep, fingers crossed. We'll see how it goes. let's take this spoon that we had earlier. So this is our test spoon. Again, good reasons to have test spoons. And yep, that's good. I'm gonna test this on the spoon first before we mute ourselves and, you know, do the whole shebang. And make sure that the shading looks okay, because what's the point of shading this if it's not gonna go well? Or look how we want. Okay, I'm gonna move that, put that over here, and again, not gonna mute myself. Okay, going to close my airbrush needle size, and so I should be spraying really thin lines. Hopefully you guys can see that. That looks pretty okay. We're just testing it, so. Alright. Still, like, really, honestly pretty bright color, even with all the clear added. Might add a little more white to that. Oh, actually, it's not too bad. I'm just kind of messing around on the top here. Still a little too bright, I think. Like dark color. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, that's still a little too dark for me. So, what I will do, even though we have this kind of mixture going for us, is I'm going to add some more white to this cup, the one that had the clear in it, and we'll see how that sprays. So you can mix and match with your cups too. I'm going to add a whole dropper, see how that goes. And I'm going to add even more. So this should lighten it up 2 or 3 shades, honestly, or it tints it 2 or 3 times, and so it looks a lot lighter now. So here is the comparison now. So, okay, and at the same time I'm going to clean this out just a little bit more. Dump it in, because why not? And let's test this again. Alright, let's put some lines across, I guess. Whoops. Oh, much better. Yeah, that's much better. A lot lighter and more subtle. The other one was just too orangey. Can you guys tell? Those two. Yep. I think that will be okay. Yeah, this is a very subtle shading. Typically what I do is I go in light with the opaque shading and then I deepen it with clears, and so this is, you know, step 1 of the shading. It's not the only step. And yeah, it looks alright. Definitely a little more tan, beigey, but that's fine. That's what you're going for. So let's get started on the kit. And I'm going to do what I've been doing with the muting and the yada yada. We're going to focus on, obviously, areas where there's shadow. So places like this, lines, sorry, I'm like going over it, folds over her, you know, creases of her neck, you know, areas like here, where there needs to be some shading and some emphasis, and just various places. So same with, actually here there's not quite as much, but we'll go in through like here and over here, etc. So very much kind of play it by ear, see how it goes type shading. Should show up, but we'll see. trying to get my mask ready. Alright. Mask is about to go on. So we're gonna mute now and spread it. just want to kind of give you guys an intermediary what's going on. Basically, I think the shading is ending up doing alright. Yeah, it actually looks pretty much what I want. I might make it a little bit more brown. What I was finding out is that the mixture that I have on my left here was a little bit too highly pigmented, and so sometimes when I would start the spray, it would get these kind of flakes of paint coming out. And so what I ended up having to do was pour... Wow, this is a very peppy song. I just noticed that. I'm gonna reset this. Sorry. So what I did is I poured it back into the cup, and whatever was left in my cup, in my airbrush, I just added a bunch of thinner. And that thinned it out a lot, and it made it so it was able to spray. So we're going to go ahead and continue shading on all of this. I don't know if this is like entirely visible to you guys. You can probably see the shadings as they're starting, but they're really subtle. They look a lot more defined in real life. But maybe when the pieces are side by side, you can tell a little better. Let's see. Trying to get this to show off is tough. Maybe like that. So you can see it's a little bit darker. Yeah, exactly. And it looks more creamy. Yeah, it definitely looks more creamy to me. So we're gonna continue doing that. The inside especially is pretty creamy. Looking at it compared to this, yeah, that's fine. And I'm gonna actually go over this real quick with my, where did my little, there it is. I have a little 5000 grit here that I just have on hand, and so I use that to get rid of some of those extra particles, but it's fine enough. It's not getting rid of too much. So yeah, let's keep going. Try to get all the shading done, at least for these pieces tonight. Working always a little slower than I thought, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to even start here, but that would give us something to do on Thursday. So let's just see where we're at and continue and go from there. Alright, gonna turn this back on and get these shadings done with. All right, that was a long session. I think that was like 20 minutes straight of spraying or something. Let me take off my mask real quick. But we got most of the shading done. There's one more thing I'm gonna do before we start to wrap up tonight, and I'm gonna take that white that we applied earlier and I'm gonna spray a little bit of it through this airbrush onto the areas that I think need just a little more of the highlighting. There were a couple spots that I wanted to go over a little bit more. I'll show you guys the pieces in just a moment. Although the shading right now is so subtle, I'm not sure if it will even really be that visible to you, but it all kind of comes together later. So really there we go. That's pretty nice. I hope you can definitely see it down here. You can see we've kind of transitioned from that light yellow into more of like a cream shading, which is kind of what we were going for from what I remember. When the hair is like next to it, there's something there. But you can really start to see those shadings pop up. So you can see it here, kind of here, along the underside. So there's a really nice view. So it's not like it's without shading. Right now it's just a really light shading. And so I might go over this again, most likely, and that'll probably be next time, with a clear color or something, just so we can make them just a tiny bit more visible. But overall, I'm really happy with this color so far, especially, so the main thing to consider is we wanted this color really nice and light because the other colors we're going to be adding are really bright. And so we've got these like crazy oranges we're going to be bringing in. So the oranges will be like on her sleeves. Her sleeves are going to be pretty dark. So maybe not this dark, I might lighten it up a bit, but they're going to be pretty dark. And then we've even got things like the little flowers that are going to be on her front, and so those, you know, are all going to be really bright too. And so, I have no problem having these be super light right now. It'll all balance out. It is a little bit less yellow than I thought, but that's probably because we added all of the white to it. Thank you. Yeah, these are some gorgeous spoons. I'm very partial to this one. It reminds me of bubble gum, and this one ended up pretty nice too. We really got like a beautiful selection of nice bright spoons this time, which wasn't really my intention with this kit, but you know what? Sometimes that's just how it is. And also, so looking at our original spoon and comparing it to this, you can see that the colors are pretty much exactly what we wanted. So always trust your spoon and your judgment. If you feel like you need to adjust things a little bit just because it doesn't seem right, go for it. But so far we're on a good track. I'm just gonna do some really minor cleanup real quick. There's like one spot in particular on the front here. I was thinking maybe I could just sand it down, but I don't have my little sander with me. So a quick way to be able to do that is to use a melamine or melamine sponge and go over your coat a little bit. I swear I had some, oh yeah, I have some right here. So we'll see if this works out real quick. Might not need to use the white then. The benefit of using this little sponge is you can sand your shadings off and then leave your base coat or your base color, but we'll see if this works. So there's just like one area here. But at the same time, you also risk sanding off your base. All right, yeah, we're gonna put a little bit more white on this spot. Here's pretty good. So okay, one more thing to do is we will put this back in. And yep, these are also the same color. That's mostly what we want to make sure of, is that all our pieces are treated the same way. You don't want to come back to them another way, kind of like what we have to do with these. That's kind of a bummer. I'll have to shade these a little later. So let's add just that little bit of white. Can reactivate it, probably. Don't need very much at all. I am gonna mute myself for this because I need the boost lighting to make sure I'm getting what I need to spray. So, but I'm not gonna put my mask on just because this will be really quick. So, give me one moment. Should be good now. I just wanted to kind of go over some stuff and blend it in a little bit more. Thankfully, because we applied those shadings on so thinly, they're able to blend in really well. And it doesn't look like just like white covered it. That's sometimes an issue. The color kind of fades out and gets looking weird if you just coat white on top of stuff. So, gonna wrap this up. And unfortunately, that's pretty much all the time that we have tonight. Definitely moved a little slower than I want, but that's what happens when we're building. And this looks good. So all our pieces are a nice creamy color. So what we will do is we will resume our painting on Thursday. We're going to deepen the shadings of these beiges or the creams a little bit, and then definitely move on to the hair. That's a big thing that I want to get done, and so we'll have more time on Thursday, especially because we didn't have all that kit check-in and the unboxing that went a little bit longer than I thought. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to all see you guys on Thursday. That will be the 10th. Yeah, February 10th. Hope you have a good rest of your evening, and I will talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.